good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone asterisk, asterisk. There are moments in life when pain feels like the end of the road, a dead end where dreams shatter, hope fades, and everything seems lost. But what if I told you that pain can be the very beginning of something powerful? Today, I want to share with you the extraordinary story of a woman who transformed her deepest pain into an unstoppable force, Muniba Mazari. A woman who, after a life-changing accident, chose not to be a victim of her circumstances, but a warrior of purpose. She turned her wheelchair into a chariot of inspiration and her scars into symbols of strength. Muniba Mazari reminds us that it's not the setbacks that define us, but the courage to rise from them. Her journey is not just about survival, it's about turning pain into power and using that power to uplift others. Let's explore what it truly means to rise beyond limitations and become the strongest version of ourselves. Pain, it's something we all experience in life, yet each person feels it in their own unique way. For some, pain is a passing moment. For others, it's a lifelong companion. But what if we started to look at pain differently? What if instead of seeing it as something that breaks us, we see it as something that builds us? This is exactly what Muniba Mazari teaches us through her journey, that pain, when embraced and understood, becomes the starting point of our strength. Muniba's life changed forever at the age of 21 when a devastating car accident left her paraplegic. For many, that kind of life-altering event would be the end of dreams, the end of ambition, and the end of self-worth. But for Muniba, it became the beginning of a new purpose. Lying in a hospital bed, broken physically and emotionally, she faced a choice to give up and accept a life of limitations, or to fight back and create a new identity that went beyond her physical body. She chose the latter, and that became the foundation of her strength. Embracing pain doesn't mean we enjoy suffering or seek it out. It means acknowledging its presence and allowing it to teach us something deeper. Pain forces us to stop and reflect. It strips away the distractions and brings us face to face with who we really are. When Muniba found herself unable to walk, she discovered something far more powerful: the ability to speak, to paint, and to inspire. Her body may have been confined to a wheelchair, but her spirit soared beyond every boundary. That transformation began with accepting the pain, not avoiding it. We often run from pain. We distract ourselves, suppress it, pretend it doesn't exist. But pain has a way of demanding to be felt. And when we stop running from it, when we finally sit with it, we start to understand its purpose. Muniba didn't deny her pain. She cried, she struggled, she doubted, but she didn't stay there. She leaned into her suffering, and in doing so, she found her voice. She discovered the power of vulnerability, the ability to say, yes, I am in pain, but I'm still here, I'm still strong, I'm still worthy. There is something incredibly powerful about owning our stories, especially the painful chapters. In a world that celebrates perfection, it's rare to see someone stand tall in their brokenness and still shine. Muniba does that. She shows us that scars don't make us weak, they make us real. And when we embrace our pain, we tap into a strength we never knew we had. A strength that doesn't come from comfort or ease, but from the storms we survive. Think about it. Some of the most impactful people in the world are those who have faced incredible adversity. What sets them apart is not that they never experienced pain, but that they allowed their pain to shape them, not shatter them. Muniba Mazari is one of those people. She used her pain as a canvas to paint her truth. She turned it into a microphone to speak life into others. And that strength, that resilience came from her willingness to sit with the pain, understand it, and grow from it. There is a quiet kind of courage in facing each day when everything inside you feels broken. There is fury in smiling when your heart is heavy. And there is unimaginable power in saying, this pain will not define me, it will refine me. That is what embracing pain looks like. It is not glamorous and it is not easy, but it is necessary. It is the first step toward healing. It is the first step toward becoming who we are meant to be. Pain introduces us to the depth of our character. It reveals our limits and then invites us to go beyond them. It uncovers our fears and then dares us to face them. When Muniba began to paint, her hands would tremble. When she spoke publicly for the first time, her voice quivered. But she didn't let those moments stop her. She knew that each step forward, no matter how shaky, was a victory. Every brushstroke, every word was a declaration. I am more than my pain. When we embrace pain, we beg. Life is unpredictable. One moment, everything seems perfect, and in the next, it can all change. But what remains constant is the power we hold in choosing how to respond. Our challenges do not define us. Our response to them does. This truth is beautifully embodied in the life of Muniba Mazari, a woman who faced unimaginable challenges but refused to let those challenges dictate the course of her life. Instead, she chose to rise above them, showing the world that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can absolutely control how we react. When Muniba's accident left her paralyzed from the waist down, it could have been the end of her dreams. The physical pain was unbearable, but even worse was the emotional torment. The sudden loss of freedom, the feeling of helplessness, the silence of unfulfilled dreams. Everything she had imagined for her future was taken away in a moment. But what she did next is what truly defines her. She chose not to be consumed by her circumstances. She chose not to live as a victim of fate. She made a conscious decision to respond with courage, determination, and an unshakable will to live with purpose. This decision did not come easily. There were moments of darkness, of doubt, of despair. But every time life pushed her down, Muniba pushed back. She decided to shift her mindset from why me to what now. That shift changed everything. She stopped focusing on what she had lost and started building something new with what she had left. She picked up a paintbrush and began to create beauty from her pain. She found her voice and began to speak for those who felt voiceless. Her response to her challenge became the foundation of her new life. We all face struggles, whether physical, emotional, financial, or personal. And while we may not have control over these situations, we always have control over how we choose to respond. We can give in to the weight of our problems, or we can rise with the strength they awaken in us. Muniba reminds us that response is where our power lies. It is the bridge between hardship and growth, between tragedy and triumph. Our circumstances might be the same, but the story we tell ourselves and the actions we take can completely transform our path. There are many people who face hardship and never recover because they let the pain define them. They build their identity around their suffering, believing they are powerless. But Muniba chose a different narrative. She refused to be known only as a paraplegic. She chose instead to be known as an artist, a speaker, a changemaker, a survivor. Her identity was shaped not by the accident, but by the strength she discovered after it. That strength came from her response, a choice she made every single day to live with intention, purpose, and hope. Challenges are a test of character. They strip away comfort and expose who we truly are. In the face of adversity, our values are tested, our beliefs are questioned, and our resilience is revealed. Muniba's story teaches us that challenges are not there to break us, but to uncover the power within us that we might not have discovered otherwise. Her response wasn't just about survival, it was about transformation. She didn't go back to her old life. She created a new one, filled with deeper meaning and greater impact. When we respond with strength, we also become a source of strength for others. Muniba's courage has inspired millions because it shows what's possible. Her response created a ripple effect, one act of bravery leading to countless others. She didn't just change her own life. She changed the lives of people who saw themselves in her story. That's the power of a strong response. It doesn't end with us. It spreads, it uplifts, it heals, it empowers. In every challenge we face, we are offered a choice. We can let it define us, confine us, or refine us. Muniba chose the last. She chose to become more, not less, because of what she went through. Her story is a reminder that we are never truly defeated unless we choose to give up. The real strength lies not in avoiding pain or difficulty, but in how we rise to meet them. And that decision to respond with courage, grace, and purpose is what defines who we truly are.